All right, welcome to my series on LangChain where we discuss everything LangChain. Okay, so I hope you saw my first tutorial about introduction to LangChain where I discuss what is LangChain and why do we need LangChain and about a few of the SDKs available out there for LangChain. Now, in this video, we're gonna discuss about how to get started with LangChain. What are the essential packages we need for LangChain and how to secure our keys when we use other integrations within LangChain. Okay, so by now I hope some of you guys were able to get to my GitHub repository, which I have on the screen in front of you, where you can see actual progress, live progress of these tutorials. Like you can progress through your tutorials while you can also refer to the corresponding Jupyter notebooks in here inside this GitHub repository. I will be creating one branch and one file, one Jupyter notebook file per tutorial video. That's the plan as of now right now. So I hope I hope I'm right. I hope I will be able to maintain that. But that's the plan. And so and at the end of each tutorial, I'll be merging all those branches back into the main. So main will always have all the stuff I have in this tutorial series. However, you can always switch to the appropriate branch. I will not be deleting the branches, so you can always switch to the branch. Like you see here, there's a branch about introduction to LangChain, so you can always switch to the branch and you can see you can see the Jupyter notebook or any nodes or anything which is corresponding to that branch. So like for example, the Jupyter notebooks will be inside the notebooks folder, so you can click on that and you can do that. And of course you can clone this repository from right here. And while we're at it, let me introduce a great tool actually in my experience for this. It's called GitHub Desktop. It's a great tool if you don't want to like muddle with the git commands and remember, or you just want to be productive simply. This is a great tool. This worked out great for me so far, and I use it in my day-to-day work where we do a lot of code merges and branching and pull requests and all that stuff, right? Just typical software life. So this worked out great for me, and so I would recommend it to anyone who wants to use it. This is by GitHub. This is not any third-party company, so you're getting it from the horse's mouth. So there you go. So getting started, right? So now I already went ahead and created a branch called Getting Started, and it's 0 to Getting Started, where I will be documenting all the stuff which is discussed in this tutorial video, and you would also get to see it in live in action when I will write the code within this Jupyter notebook here. So go ahead and clone that repository to your local branch, and we'll get started in a few minutes right here. Okay, let's first discuss a few other common packages, or what I consider the essential package for LangChain application development. Namely LangChain, LangChain Community, LangChain OpenAI, because we'll be using OpenAI LLM engine in this course. And we're also gonna, for completion's sake, we'll also install the OpenAI package. And another package which I think is not exactly related to LangChain development, but I feel essential to promote secure coding is Python.NET.env, sorry, not .NET, Python-env package. Now let's discuss what are these packages and what are the value they provide, what each one of them provides, right? So the first one we're going to discuss is LangChain. LangChain, as you know, is a framework designed to streamline the integration of large language models into application development. So this package LangChain, right? It offers a standard interface so that we can build chains, numerous tool integrations and end-to-end solutions, things like that to build most common AI applications such as chatbots or RAG applications or like question and answer type applications. Essentially, this particular framework, this particular LangChain package is essential for developers pretty much to build efficient AI applications like we discussed in the Introduction to LangChain course. Next, we're going to see why we would need a LangChain community package, right? LangChain community, this package mostly contains community-based community contributed tools and integrations. Basically any vendors, like for example Oracle, right? That's one vendor who has some databases which they want to be used with the AI applications. They would come and provide some packages which fall within the LangChain community namespace, and then developers can use those, you leverage these shared resources so that they can have access to a broad range of functionalities, essentially fostering collaboration and innovation, where they extend the capabilities of LangChain beyond what LangChain provides, and vendors benefit from it because developers now have learned a way to use that specific vendor's software within their AI applications, and perhaps they would go back to their employers and say, hey, this is a great package. I evaluated it. I use them in my exploration, and they work great for whatever they need. So yeah, this kind of helps with experimentation, helps with promoting usage of different software packages which are built by community with LangChain. Next package we're going to talk about is LangChain OpenAI. What is this package, right? This package basically, essentially, you can think of it sort of like a community package, but it basically bridges the gap between LangChain and OpenAI models. If you think about it, it facilitates seamless integration and allows developers to harness the power of OpenAI, which has a lot of advanced language models. At the time of this review, I think they came up with O3 Mini, I believe, is the latest package, latest language model they came out with, which is really great. It's almost, I would almost call it the agentic, because it does show the reasoning it is performing while it's answering a question. So I actually really like it. I think let me just search what is it. It is, I believe it is. Yeah, it is O3 Mini. It's really good. You guys should try it. Okay, so yeah, if you want to use this advanced language models from OpenAI with LangChain, you want to use this. You want this package LangChain-OpenAI. So if you want to use the OpenAI capabilities, this is the package you want. And since in this course we'll be using a lot of OpenAI for our large language model, we would want to install that package. The next package we want to discuss is OpenAI package itself. Now, this is not exactly a LangChain specific package. This OpenAI package is a Python package which basically allows you to build any Python application with OpenAI's capabilities, right? So you want smart applications, like I said earlier, with all the shortcomings, of course, with direct application development without using LangChain. You can do that. If you want to do it, this is the way. You install OpenAI package and use it with your Python application. It allows you to use like the state-of-art large language models, which are there for various applications. With various applications you are building, you can use them to range from text generation, which is the thing which most of us do for data analysis, or anything you want to do, like RAG models or anything like that. You can do it with OpenAI itself. Of course, like I said, if you use LangChain in between your OpenAI and your application, you will have severe, lots of advantages if we take that approach. But you can also you're still free to use OpenAI directly by using the OpenAI package. So that's another package we want to install. The next package, like I said at the start of this video, at the start of this section, is python.env package. This is a package which reads key value pairs from .env files and makes them available as environment variables. So once they're available as an environment variable, you can typically read environment variables in Python using the OS package. I think it's os.get-environ or something like that. There's a method which you can use to get environment variables. You can do the same thing, except that the environment variables are not set up somewhere in your system. They will be in your .env package, which you can keep within the same folder as where your code is. And this Python-.env package allows us to convert all those key value pairs you had in the .env file as environment variables and read them and consume them within your application. It's basically it's instrumental in managing your configurations, your API keys, anything which you want to hide, things like that. This is a best practice because you really don't want to hardcode your API keys and other secrets within your application, because when you do check in your application to any kind of source code, so does all these hard-coded keys, which shouldn't be. This is a big security risk. People can get hold of those keys which are in the code, and then run through your money, run through the money which you had tied to that key, and do bad things essentially. So just don't do that. Put your API keys in any configuration within a .env file and use a Python-.env package to read those files in. I will be showing here in a little bit how we can do that. So don't worry if you haven't used it before. So essentially, these are really essential packages which play a important role in developing robust LangChain applications. They offer lots of special functionalities, like I said, using how to use OpenAI, how all these vendor packages using LangChain community and so on. So they collectively enhance the development experience. So I would highly encourage you guys to install these packages. And now, if you are wondering how do you install these packages, it's pretty straightforward. If you have Python already installed on your system, all you have to do is go to command line, like I'm going here on the screen. You can see, go to the command line where you have your repository clone. Go in there and do this. Do pip install and start typing the name of all the packages you want. So in this case, we will do LangChain OpenAI, and what else? LangChain community, and I think OpenAI is another thing, and Python.env, just like that. Enter. In my case, since I have this package already installed for me, it won't do much, but we'll see. So as you see, these requirements are already satisfied, so it didn't do anything for me. But if you're new, if you never had this package on your system before, I'm assuming that's the case because you're listening to this LangChain 101 course essentially. So you want to do this, you would install all these packages. And you should be good to go with regards to application, with regards to building really cool applications, AI applications nonetheless, using Python and LangChain and whatever your favorite LLM engine is. At least within this course, we'll stick to OpenAI. We may explore other LLM engines as I hear more from you guys. But for now, we'll start with OpenAI. Okay. So all right, let's move on. Alright, before I wrap up this tutorial, I wanted to show you guys how to consume keys using Python.env package. I always just mumble it up. I realized I didn't create a notebook for this chapter. We're going to be calling this chapter Getting Started, because we're already done with Introduction to LangChain. Now we got to come up with something. So yeah, let's call it Getting Started, right? So I'm going to be creating a new one here. I'm going to go to File, New, if you have the Jupyter Notebook, if you're new to it. This is how we create a notebook. We're gonna call it, starts with untitled. We're gonna call it 02_getting started. And here we're gonna rename it, and it starts off with a code cell. We have other options here like Markdown and Raw. I'm not exactly sure what Raw does. I don't ever use it, but let's start with code cell, right? Here you make sure you have the right kernel selected. If you have multiple kernels, that's a possibility, but if you have Anaconda or something like that configured on your machine. But in my case, I don't have any of those configured. I'm just using the default kernel, which is a Python kernel. That's the only thing which I have for me. So So I have that selected, and this is where we can write code, and we can execute code by pressing Shift Enter. That's what you need to press. Now, before I wrap up this video, like I said, I want to demonstrate python.env package. Now you may be questioning, why do we need this package? Let me state three key reasons. Reduce your exposure risks for your configuration and your keys. Make sure your code is safe for code check-ins, even if it is in a public repository. If you're contributing to open source or if you're putting it out there. And finally, making sure that you can manage your keys and your secrets effectively by keeping them in a separate file, the .env file in this case. So of course, I keep speaking about .env file. Let's see, what is that, right? So all you have to do is, like I'm going here, just go to your project folder where you intend to keep your real code. And in my case, I already have a .env file, so let me just go ahead and delete it. And I did delete it, so all I have to do is go back here and just create a new text document and make sure that it's named as .env with no extension. Let's start again. So we create a new file, new text document, and there is no extension. That's going to be an issue. So let's create that and open that. And Notepad, press, and let's save as. When we do save as, we can select this option of all files. That will remove the extension, and we can call it .env and save. There you go. You can right click this and open with, if you're in Windows, right? If you have another operating system, you can do, you can open it using a Notepad, because it's really nothing. There's nothing in here. You just open it like this. And all you do here within this file, you want to add all your configuration in here. You do it as key value pairs. The way you do it is you put your key and followed by an equal to sign, and then followed by the value, whatever that is. So let's add an example, right? So the most popular thing which you may end up adding here is, it's called OpenAI underscore API underscore key. So this is a specific key which is looked for, which is sorted out, which is seeked by the OpenAI packages to be able to consume your OpenAI credits to answer your questions. So this is different from having, going to chat.openai.com. This is a backend connection to OpenAI LLM engines directly from your code. As you can imagine, this is your application. We use APIs within applications. You should be familiar if you're at this point. From applications, when we consume services, we use APIs, typically REST APIs. So those REST APIs have API keys, and you would have to use those API keys within your applications to consume those APIs. And in this case, this is where we keep the OpenAI API key. And let's say if your OpenAI API key is GH7, well, I'm just making it up, whatever. So if that's your OpenAI API key, you would put it here. Now, remember this one. This one starts with GH7, right? So we save this. Now, you may be questioning yourself, how do you read this? How do you read the keys from your .env file within your Python application? So let's do that, right? Remember, the first thing is you want to install the python-.env package. Once you install it, all you need to do is you want to consume it, right? So the first thing you want to do is you would want to import the load. So you want to import the load.env package. So watch this, from .env import load _.env. Once you do it, right, the next important thing is you want to call a method so that all those environment variables the configuration variables which are declared within the .env file are available for you as environment variables. To do that, make sure you call this method right here. Now, one way to verify that there is no syntax error in our code is within Jupyter Notebooks is using Shift Enter. Once you do it, if you see true or if you get no errors, that means that your code is working. So the next thing you want to do is you would want to import the OS package. Once you import the package, you can read any environment variables within your system or within the .env file in our case using this method, and they will be available as keys on this environ. I guess it's short for environmental. So in there, those keys will be available for you as just like keys in an object. So in this case, if I remember correctly, this is our key which we had. So we want to read that key from this environ object. So you do it using the square brackets, open and close square brackets between it. You want to put the key. Now that's cool, but you would want to see this, right? You would want to see this. Let's print it out. Let's verify that this key is actually read. It's available for us for us consumption. So let's say I have a variable called my key, right? It's just for fun. So my key, after the execution of this line, would hold the key, the value for that key. So you can print that using, let's verify that using print statement like that, and then shift enter. There you go. See that? Now you got your value for your key or your configuration, whatever that is now available for you for consumption within your Python program in your own variable, my key in my case, throughout the program. So now you just learned how to secure your configuration and your keys using the .env package, and we'll be doing more of this as we go through and build cool AI applications throughout this course. Keep listening. Thank you. One last thing. I know I covered a lot of packages. I verbally said it. You probably saw some on the screen, some of the definitions and so on. So you may be wondering, how do I remember all these packages? Do I have to go back and rewatch the video? You can do that, of course. Thanks to you, I'll get some views. But I will also be mentioning all the concepts I spoke about within this Jupyter Notebook as markdown cells. I will be putting all the notes just like I did for chapter 1. All the concepts I discussed about LangChain and everything were available to you to go back and refer to them within my chapter 1 Jupyter Notebook. You can see them all here. Similarly, after this tutorial, after this video, I will be going back to this chapter 2 Jupyter Notebook. I'll be enhancing it with all the concepts I discussed, all the packages, why are they needed, and so on. As markdown cells here, I will add them some, like I'll go here, I would go to insert a cell above, and then here I'll change this cell as markdown, and here I'm going to have all the notes, so you don't have to worry. You can always go back to it and refer to it. But also, please do watch the video again if anything is confusing. If you have any questions or anything like that, just reach out to me. Okay, thank you.